All right. So for the for the past, I don't know, maybe let's say like 2 months. I've been working out longer than 2 months, but recently I've kind of changed how I work out. And I am going to tell you that I don't follow a workout routine, like a specific routine, like some people specifically recommend to do. Uh, but I don't do that. Probably should or shouldn't. I don't know. Um, but I've been watching this guy called Pana. He's, I think, a French power lifter, from what I understand. And I like his content a lot. And he put out a video about if you want, about like, increasing the frequency at which you lift. As in, like, so if you do bench, if you want to get better at bench or whatever the exercise is, if you can do it more often without, destroying your body and recovering, properly, the more you can do it without also having adequate rest, the better you'll get at bench. So if you're just doing bench one time a week, that's, you know, really not enough if you really want to improve. I mean, if you're just starting off, that might be fine. But you can do bench around, according to Pana, like 3 to 4 times a week. And you can also do squats 3 times a week. Deadlifts, I believe it's like 2 times a week, maybe three, and I don't know about four. But more likely like 2 times a week. So what I've been doing for a little while now, last 3 days I haven't worked out at all because I got pretty sick. But I was going to the gym so dang consistently. Like I would pretty much be going 6 days a week. The days I took off were random, like my rest days, which wasn't good. But so I kind of set it up like this. So every other day I would do squats and biceps, right? And then on the days off, on the days I wasn't doing squats and biceps, I would do deadlifts, bench, and possibly triceps. And I would do that, all the way until like Thursday, until more like Thursday or Friday. I'm sorry. So then at that point, I would be squatting and doing biceps Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then I'd be doing deadlifts on Tuesday and Thursday. Deadlifts and bench and, um, possibly triceps on Tuesdays, Thursdays. And then on my Saturdays and possibly Sundays, I would work more on maybe shoulders or have kind of work on micro things. Like I might do things that might be like maintenance exercises. So I might be doing a single arm kettlebell. When you take a kettlebell, one kettlebell, you put it upside down and you do a single arm kettlebell bench with it. And it's just help, the stability in your arm. So I might do something like that on a Saturday or a Sunday, or I might be doing, I think they're called back extensions, where you put your legs on that machine and you bend your back forward. I don't really know what that machine's called, honestly. I forget. Or I might be doing something like, working on my forearms a little bit, like trying to get my grip strength a little better. And I might do something like that on Saturdays and Sundays. But yeah, I would be squatting 3 times a week. And then, benching and deadlifting twice a week. And I got a lot stronger than I thought. And something else I didn't mention that I'll mention now is that for the first time I would do an exercise for the week, whether it was squat, deadlift, bench, or whatever. If it was the first time doing that exercise for the week, then I would do a 1 rep max for that. And I would work my way up to the 1 rep max. Then once I did my 1 rep max, I would back off, a few pounds, and then I would, do a few reps of quite a few pounds. I'd take quite a few pounds off, maybe like 10 or 20. And then I would try to see how many reps I can get at that weight. And then I'd take a few more pounds off, another 10 or 20, see how many reps I can get with that, and do that a few times. And then if it was my second time doing that exercise for the week, I would do hypertrophy training. So I would do higher reps, more in the 8 to 12 range, hypertrophy. It's what, like, the first week is more into the 1 to 5 range for reps, strength. And then the second time that week is more into the hypertrophy rep ranges. And if it was my third time doing that exercise, then I would do slow reps, which would help me strengthen my tendons. Doing that, I got pretty strong. And for deadlifts, I'd like to say that my legitimate max is 405, and my illegitimate max, I guess you could say, is 435. Sometimes I'll do deadlifts, and I think it's a problem everyone has. And you force the last few, however many inches up, that hip hinging part that is always kind of the hardest part of the motion sometimes. And sometimes you just force it up, but you shouldn't have. And then you'll get sore for the next few, probably the rest of the week after that. And you're like, dang, why did I do that? I probably shouldn't have done that. So these are videos of both. This is the 405. To me, it looks pretty legit. It looks, my form looks pretty good. And then I'll show you, this is the 435. So what I noticed right away is that as the bar kind of got past my knees, I started leaning back, a lot more than usual. So I don't know if that was like compensation of some sort, but it left me a little more sore than normal. Whereas when I first PR'd for the 405, I wasn't really sore, but when I did 435, I was definitely sore. And for my squat, my max squat is 265. Squats has always been something I've kind of struggled with, and I've neglected squats for a long time. I used to be a big runner, and I used to be able to run like 20 miles. I don't know how fast I ran it. I never really timed myself. I mean, I did track and field and cross country in high school, but after I got outside of high school, I just ran on my own, and I would run forever and ever. And I just didn't do squats because I didn't think it would be good if I ran and did squats, and it's probably not entirely true, but that's kind of why my squats really aren't super strong. But yeah, here's a video of my 265 max low bar. So, like I said before, that was a low bar squat, and I'm not sure. I don't really 100% know my anatomy, but I think I have longer femurs. And if you have longer femurs, I know that squatting can be different for you. Usually people with longer femurs, from what I hear, is that they have an easier time low bar squatting. And from what I hear is that if you're low bar squatting, you're working more of your glutes. And where if you're high bar squatting, you're working a lot more of your quads. For some reason, when I low bar squat, I don't like to keep my stance wider than shoulder width. I think I keep it It's either shoulder width or a little less than shoulder width, and that just feels comfortable to me. I don't know if I lean forward too much, maybe, but that's just how my low bar looks. Another strange thing I've noticed about me when it comes to squats is my depth. Is I actually get pretty good depth with. It doesn't matter if I'm doing high or low bar. I can get pretty low, um, which is strange because they say with low bar it's going to be harder to get a lower squat, but it doesn't matter if I'm in the high doing high or low bar. I can get just as deep of a squat either way. So I showed you some of my 1RM days or my 1 rep max days or my strength days, whatever you want to call them. It's both 1 rep max and strength. Um, but I'll show you. I don't have a lot of clips for hypertrophy, but I'll show you this clip, this deadlift clip of me doing 315 for 15 reps for deadlifts, and they're quick reps. There's not really any pause in between the reps. I was trying to keep good form, but also not wait too long in between each rep. Some people like to wait a little longer to make sure their form's right. I feel like I got it locked in. And for some reason, I don't really have a lot of my bench pressing recorded. I think part of that reason is because I wasn't really focused on growing my bench because at the time I thought it was pretty strong. I wish it was stronger. In the past, I did 265. I don't know if it was cheating. My butt could have been off the bench. Um, I don't really remember, but recently my max has been around 255 for bench. Um, it's probably going to take a lot of work, to get past the 200s and then reach 300 range. I don't know how long that'll take. Probably quite some time. Probably quite a bit of adjustments I might have to make. Um, but I do a lot of one arm. I talked about this earlier. I do a lot of one arm bench with dumbbells, to help my stability. So I'll do one arm dumbbell bench, and I like doing that a lot. I like doing. Sometimes I like doing instead of doing uh, bilateral exercise. Sometimes I like to do unilateral exercises, and I just think it works the body a lot differently. It helps work your stabilizers a little bit more. I like doing that, and I like to do dumbbells where I do a single arm overhead dumbbell press. I like that exercise a lot too. That's also probably one of my favorite unilateral exercises. Um, Other than that, I don't do suitcase deadlifts a lot. Maybe I should. That's probably another good unilateral exercise to do. And like to do a lot of farmer's carries. That's a big forearm exercise that I love working into my routine. Um, but other than that, that's really it for the video, just to show, my workout routine and what I've been up to and my progress along the way. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention, and I don't usually like talking about physique. I think physique can like help determine to some extent how strong you are, how much you've improved. But I think it's not as big of a factor as what people may say. Um, Muscle size is kind of strange. It's muscle size is helpful, uh, but it's not the main factor that's gonna help you lift up things. It does help a lot, and it is a pretty big factor, but it's not the main factor. So this is a picture of me at 160 pounds, and within a few months or so, I've gained about 10 pounds, and this is a picture of me at 170 pounds. Um, all right. Uh, I'll just end the video with that.